What fellowship? It's such a privilege to be part of a wonderful fellowship. And what I just described to you in great measure was built and established and assisted by the work of Brother Haney. I'm going to be very brief today because other associates of Brother Haney are far more capable than I of expressing what he meant to them over the years. But let me just share a few things from one person's perspective. First of all, as a pastor, I was very thankful to have a leader of vision and faith. I remember when he preached at our 10th anniversary in Austin, Texas. Our church was a young church, and many people were first-generation Pentecostals. They would really have no concept of what we take for granted. But to have someone of his caliber to say, this is what the apostolic movement is. This is what the United Pentecostal Church is. His ministry was inspirational and a blessing to our local congregation. And then, as a district superintendent, I was thankful for a leader who promoted and supported revival, growth, innovation, multicultural ministry. You couldn't be around Brother Haney without hearing him talk about growth and what are we doing? What should we be doing? What are you going to do? As a district superintendent, I appreciated a leader who was at the forefront. And both Brother and Sister Haney blessed us in our district with their faith-building ministry. And then finally, as a general superintendent, I was privileged to succeed Brother Haney. And I can say that he was gracious and helpful during the time of transition and supportive after that time. He gave me some good advice and some encouragement for the days ahead. And right now, we're enjoying benefits of things that he initiated, that he planned, that he put into operation. And so the good things that you hear, just keep in mind that it didn't just happen overnight. But over the years, and especially in the ministry of Brother Haney, a lot of these things were born, nurtured, and have come to pass. And so our thoughts and our prayers will continue to be with you in the days and months ahead. I was thinking of Hebrews 11:5, the testimony of Enoch, New King James. And it summarizes what I think is the most important of all, more than a view of a pastor or a district superintendent or even a general superintendent. But God's view. I think it would be fair, and we would all agree with this statement. Before he was taken, he had this testimony, that he pleased God.
Kenneth Haney, on his first day as General Superintendent, asked me to his office, and there he handed me a yellow legal pad. In that pad were page after page with every line filled. This was his agenda for his superintendency. We went through it line by line. Some of the items were small changes. Others were broad and sweeping in scope. All had one goal: to move us off what he called high center and toward the destiny he saw for the United Pentecostal Church. He believed we must be a powerful, vibrant church, alive with the Spirit of God, not hidden in some corner, but on the very center stage of history. He believed we were a force in this world for revival. This is what I want to do, he said. Will you help me get these things done? I said I would, and for the next 8 years, I watched as he never lost his focus on this vision, nor his faith that it could be done. Brother Haney was a man of ideas, of vision. He was a seer. His vision keener than most. Revival and evangelism, the supernatural move of the Spirit, these were the substance of his dreams. He never lost his passion for these things. He could talk of them by the hour, and he often did. Once, I was thinking of this the other day, Brother Hal, we were flying home, several of us, from the Global Council meeting in South Africa. We were facing a 16-hour flight home. Somehow there was a mix-up, and Brother Haney's seat was double booked. Being the man that he was, he insisted that the other person take that seat, and he refused to take any of our seats either. They'll find me a seat, he said, and he patiently waited at the back of the airplane until the boarding process was over. And they did find him a seat. As it happened, he was right between Brother Jesse Williams and Brother Darrell Johns. Brother Johns later told me that the three of them talked about the church and revival and winning the world for all 16 hours. I confess, I was secretly glad to be all the way across the plane. I slept while they plotted world conquest. But he was more than just a visionary. He was one of the best men I have ever known, with true principles and impeccable character. He was gracious under pressure and unfailingly kind. He was quick to forgive, and he always strove to find the best in everyone. He was not a prima donna. He was a kind man. He was a man who, no matter who you were, no matter what your place, he saw a way to help if he could. Just after we learned of Brother Haney's final illness, I was preaching an anniversary service at a very small church in a small town in Indiana. They had gotten word, and we had special prayer, of course, in that service for Brother Haney. The pastor began reminiscing because Brother Haney had preached that anniversary service just a few years ago. It's a tiny motel in that town, and even though it was clean, pastor felt it simply was not suitable for the general superintendent. So they had gone to a small city about 25 or 30 miles away and paid for a room in a nice hotel for Brother Haney. After church, he explained this to the bishop, and Brother Haney said, "Go show me the hotel here in town." So they went there. Brother Haney pronounced it was just fine. He would stay here. Pastor told his congregation that night, he said, "I wanted to say, but Brother Haney, I already paid for the other room. So now my church is going to be stuck for both rooms." But Brother Haney paid for the room in the tiny local hotel and then turned to the pastor and said, Now you and your wife, I heard it's your anniversary in a few days. You go to the nice hotel and you stay there tonight. This pastor choked up as he was telling this story, and tears were rolling down his face, and he said, "That is how I will always remember Brother Haney." For Brother Haney, it wasn't about WEC or the General Board or the thorny problems of office. It certainly wasn't about perks and fame. It was about people, about helping them, inspiring